Hello everyone, welcome back to Carless. Today I'm sitting in the Polestar 2. I'm going to talk about a few topics, so a few annoyances that I have with the car that I don't think I've seen in any video so far. I'm also going to talk about the update. So I did the update, I'm going to show you that and what I've noticed after that. So first, a few annoyances. So when you get in the car, there is actually no autoplay for the Spotify. Usually with the Volvo cars, when you get in, I mean the music turns off, whether it's radio or something else. Since you have Spotify, I would have liked it to get started right away. You can press just play here, pretty easy. But still, often when you get in, you put it in reverse, you get the camera up, you can't really sort of control the media, so an autoplay function would be great. Another thing I don't like is when you put in a destination. So let's see, I'm going to go somewhere here. The arrival sort of state of charge in the Google Maps app is really good. I mean, that's the one I've been using. That's the one I feel comfortable with. You always get a little buffer, so you always end up with a few percent more. However, you want to keep track of that somehow. And if you go out of this view here, you can't really see the state of charge at arrival. You see in how many minutes you will arrive, how far it is, and at what time. But you could just add the sort of arrival battery status. That would be great actually, because you can't see it in the instrument cluster also. You can only see it when you have the full map view down here. It's such a nice feature, and Google has done such a good job with sort of estimating the charge that they should show that everywhere. It might be confusing with your sort of current state of charge, but yeah, I mean that figure is the one that I want to look at, and they should have it available somewhere else. Okay, let's do something good, and that's sort of how you put the gear selector. So on the Volvo cars, you have to sort of press twice in each direction. In the Polestar, you can just hard pull or push, and you can do both sort of clicks in one motion, which is, I mean, that's really great. I mean, many have been annoyed by the double click in the Volvos, and they sort of solved that here. When I've been driving a Volvo, it hasn't really been that much of a noise. You get used to it. I mean, double click doesn't take that long. Another thing that's been annoying me is that you sometimes do something here on the screen, and then you sort of put your hands on the wheel again, and you said, oh, I want to go back to this view. And you have to do that motion. So you usually sort of miss that when you're going back. So I would like to do that on the steering wheel. So like a double click on any button just to go back to the home screen. While driving, I've sort of noticed that I forget to get back, and also the button down there is not very convenient. It's sort of, you can't really do it while you're driving easily. Also here, I would have liked sort of that you could customize what you've seen. So there's a few sort of shortcuts that are available for each tile. For the Spotify, I would have really liked to have one that's for playlists. So when you go into the app, it's quite hard to, when you start playing something, to actually go back and find your playlist. So if they could have just like a shortcut here on the home screen, that would be really good. Also, I think these sort of buttons should be, you should be able to change them. Maybe restaurants isn't the thing you're looking after, but maybe like parking or just going home. Another thing I really like is that the front seat has ISOFIX for child seat. that's not sort of standard with at least Volvo. So I really like that they added that. That's something that I, at least with 2 kids, appreciate. Another really nice feature is the tilting mirror. So when you put it in reverse, the mirrors tilt down so you can see the car and where you're sort of reversing up to. At first I was like, what the hell? What is this? I can't see anything. But as of now, I really like that feature, and I think you can also have it so you only have it on one of the mirrors. So yeah, exterior mirrors tilt at reverse, so you can choose if you have both or just on one side. I'm thinking of changing this to one side, because sometimes you just want to see what's behind you and not the rear wheels. But this has been a really nice feature. Okay, so another really nice feature that I've found is the indicator sound. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's like a little knocking. Feels very natural, and I know it's a weird thing to sort of review, but that's a really nice sound, and it's really sort of calming. Another thing with the sound system, I found myself having the volume quite low, or at least thinking, well, in the beginning, why is the sound so high? And it's because of the engine sound. There is no. So with an ICE car, I usually turn up the music to sort of hide the noise from the engine, and to be able to hear the actual music. With this Polestar and electric cars, you don't really need that. And sometimes I also find myself, well, I don't want any music, because there is not that much sort of disturbing noise around me, which has always been sort of a calming feel, to be able to drive without all these noises around me. Okay, so moving on to the update, the OTA, so over there update. I actually thought I wouldn't get it, because as you can see, I have a warning, and that is that the exterior sound system malfunction, and I get this all the time. I haven't been to the shop since this is a rental, and I thought that would block the OTA update, that I had to have a clean car to get the OTA update. But then the other day it actually came, so just so you know that even though you have some sort of these small issues, you will still get the update. However, what I experienced before is that I was trying out the group session on the Spotify, and I couldn't get it to work, because as soon as I press play, it would play 1 second and then pause. Play 1 second and then pause. So each time I push it, it would just play for 1 second. I was like, what the hell? I had to turn on the radio instead. And it was actually after that, when I stopped, when it sort of notified me that the install or the download was ready. So I kind of suspect that it turned off some of the sort of 4G for the data for use in the car. So it was actually throttling Spotify so it could download the update. Because after the update, Spotify was fine. But right before, I couldn't sort of initiate it. It would just pause all the time. So that's also something to keep in mind if you have Spotify or some other service that uses 4G. Stop. It might be because it's sort of downloading something in the background. And I mean, the update went well. You see I have the LTE icon there. It's on Android 10 now. There weren't a lot of sort of noticeable updates. I haven't tried sort of range tests. Many others have done that already. I'm going to test the charging speed in a few minutes. Not on a really fast charger, but a 50 kilowatt charger. One thing I did notice, however, so under profiles, if you go into your own, there's a devices here, and it says pair your device. So before pairing, make sure all that your registered keys are in the vehicle and that you've signed into the Polestar app on your vehicle. You can do this, but you will get to the step where you need to sort of do something on your app, and that's not possible because it's not available. But they have sort of started to prepare the car for the app, and I guess there are many people out there sort of testing that functionality right now, so it should be available in the next release. I've seen indications on sort of Easter or April for that, but it's really, I haven't seen anyone show this before. Moving on to the Spotify group sessions. Right now it's not actually working. So you're supposed to go into settings, and you should have like a waveform here that you can scan with a Spotify app. So you sort of enter that group session, and then you can share music and so on. But I saw it a day or so after the announcement, but now I can't find it anymore, which is pretty annoying. I wanted to really test it out. Another thing though is that if you're in the car and you go into your Spotify app, you will see the Polestar showing up as a device. So you can actually control the music from your app. And I don't know about you, but I would sort of prefer just giving my phone to the back seat and they can control the music from there. That seems like the easier choice. Or even better, if you can just change your account or profile in the Spotify app to someone else sitting in the car instead of the group session, because the group session seems to be linked to your account and not on the actual app. And what do I mean about that? Well, you will enter a group session with your account. So if you start playing music at home, you have to end the session. And that seems like quite annoying if you have to sort of start a new session every time you go, you start a new trip. If that's the way they want it, they should add a shortcut to the home screen. Because going into the app, going into the session, the settings, that's not how you want to do it. That is too sort of cumbersome to do when you're driving. So they have to sort of make that process much easier. Or if you can just someone can request sort of access and you can just press OK on the screen, that would be even better, I think. Another thing is the video player. So you can see here that they've actually added 2 channels to German, Tagesschau. These were not available when they released the app. So good news, they can sort of add channels without updating the app. The bad thing is that this seems like just the web browser view, so it's pretty slow, it's not optimized. You can see how it's loading, and even if you want to go play something, it's really slow and it doesn't update the pictures here. So there are a lot of work to do on this app, but when you're charging and you're standing still, it's better to have it than not. And from what I've heard, it's available in Sweden and Germany so far. I guess you will get it everywhere soon, because I haven't found many issues with it so far. I've also tried to find the ChargePoint app, but it seems like it's only available in the US maybe, which is a shame. I mean, we have ChargePoint here in Europe as well. Why can't they just add it? Okay, so that was all I wanted to cover this time. So thank you all for watching, and hope you got a little bit of new information. Hope you watch the next video as well. Bye.